Welcome to the Viral Solutions Podcast. Today we're going to talk about the importance of having a meaningful brand in the modern age. I think all of us want to have a successful brand, but here's a sobering statement for you. If your business isn't meaningful, it's irrelevant. And we're not making this stuff up. That just isn't our ego talking. This is according to a report by the Havas Group. You can find this report at dk.havas.com. 77% of brands, if they disappeared today, according to the Havas Group, nobody would care. At the same time, 76% of people expect brands to contribute to their quality of life and well-being. Huh? I mean, what's that telling us? Well, we believe that it means the companies that are going to survive are the ones that make a strong connection with their customers. It's the brands that stand out in people's minds because they are unique, exceptional, or just downright cool. Make no mistake, only businesses that have a meaningful brand and make a lasting impact on their customers' lives will thrive. You have to have a meaningful brand that makes an impact, and here's why. If the fear of being irrelevant isn't enough, there are several other reasons you need to have a meaningful brand. First, there's good money in being meaningful. Let's face it, we're all in business to make money. And being a meaningful brand is one of the best ways to do that. As demonstrated by another finding from the Havas report, and I quote, "Meaningful brands have outperformed the stock market by a staggering 206% over a 10-year period between 2006 and 2016, end quote. That same report further outlines that key performance indicators increase dramatically in relation to a company's meaningful performance. For every 10% increase in meaningful performance, the following KPIs increase: an additional 3% from familiarity, an additional 7% in overall impression, an additional 10% in purchases, an additional 5% in rebuys, an additional 7% in consumer advocacy, an additional 12% in the ability to have a premium price. With numbers like these, we should all be breaking down every obstacle that gets in the way of making a meaningful impression on the world. There are personal, collective, and functional benefits to being a meaningful brand. Again, the Havas report looked at 350,000 consumers, over 1,800 brands, in 33 markets and 15 industries over an 8-year period. I think that's pretty comprehensive. And out of that research came 3 distinctive benefits of being a meaningful brand. First, personal benefits. Consumers have a lot to gain from meaningful brands, which is precisely what makes those brands meaningful. How does your brand stack up? Are you helping your customers save time? Do you make their lives easier in some way? Do you give them a peace of mind? Do you improve their level of happiness? The next of three distinct benefits is called collective benefits. Meaningful brands often make an impact collectively, whether it's related to the community, workplace, environment, ethics. The role of a brand plays a part in society and the impact they have on the future. It's pretty big. Havas research found that 55% of consumers actually feel that brands are more important than government when it comes to creating a better future. Wow. The third of three distinct benefits of a meaningful brand is functional benefits. So functional benefits of a meaningful brand are quality, safety, responsibility. Meaningful brands are often category leaders, making an innovative product and service developments and understanding the needs of their consumer. When you are meaningful, you attract raving fans. Now, the term raving fans came from the book Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard and Sheldon Bowles. It's what you get when your customers love you so much that they will line up to buy from you. They talk about how awesome you are to everyone, and they're loyal to the end. Want some raving fans? Well, it's simple. Just develop a meaningful brand, and you'll naturally attract raving fans all over the place. This happens because meaningful brands make a difference in their customers' lives. Therefore, those brands matter to them. By making that kind of an impression on a consumer, you gain their trust, and they feel attached to and develop a stronger connection to your company. That's what puts the rave in raving fans. How to create a meaningful brand? Simply put, there's 6 ways to be meaningful, and they vary by industry. 1, inspire. 2, entertain. 3, educate. 4, help. 5, inform. 6, reward. Do at least one of these things. More than one's even better. And you will be on your way to creating a meaningful brand. But let's not stop there, because here's some additional tips to help you make the strongest impact on your customers, the community, and the future. Always be valuable. Whenever you talk about being meaningful, it always comes back to value. The number one purpose on your agenda as a marketer should always be, how can I provide the most value to my customers? You got to know your customer. Before you can bring value to your customers, you need to understand them. That means understanding them so deeply that you totally get what you would give them for value, and you're able to provide it to them so effortlessly that they think, OMG, this is the answers to my prayers. Okay? You need to know your company. In order to provide that value, you also need to have a full grasp on what you can and can't offer. Look at the features and benefits you provide your customer service and your community outreach. In what ways do you make lives easier? What do you do exceptionally well? What do you need to improve? It can also be helpful to look at what role you want to play in your customers' lives. Is it a teacher, a coach, a protector, a connector, a supporter, an inspirer? How are you going to move your customer? Next, you need to be crystal clear. What your brand stands for should be crystal clear to you, your employees, and your customers. It must present a clear and concise message so that it isn't confusing and can generate an immediate emotional response. In the end, you want your brand to elicit a feeling, an emotion, or a sense of aha at the mere glance of your logo or the mention of your company name. If you can do that, you'll be remembered and you'll be able to make a much bigger impact. But that takes time. Next, stop adding to the clutter. We're still in the information age, but some say we're now in the age of experience. That's according to TechCrunch.com. Some say it's called the era of innovation, and that was a Pulse article on LinkedIn where I saw that. But in any event, we are certainly consumed with information, so much so that it is really becoming a problem. Just 5 to 10 years ago, people were hungry for information. You could create an ebook and people would give you their email, no problem. They wanted the information. Today, it's more accurate to say that we're living in a content overload age. And here's a list of what could be proof to that. Just to satisfy Google, every website needs a blog, which means there's millions of articles published online every day. Next, there's 510,000 comments, 293,000 status updates, and 136,000 photos uploaded onto Facebook every minute. Every day, there's 500 million tweets. 300 hours of video to YouTube every minute. That's crazy. And it all leads to the fact that although you need to create content to stay alive in today's business landscape, it is essential that you not just add to the chaos. That means ensuring that you're putting out stellar content that's meaningful and that backs up the values and messages that your company stands for. The Havas report we talked about earlier, it indicated that 60% of content that's created by brands is found to be poor, irrelevant, or failing to deliver. In other words, the majority of the content being produced is not making an impact on people's lives. Marriott's VP of Global Creative and Content Marketing, David Beebe, put it best. And you can find this in Variety magazine way back in 2015 or variety.com. And he said, quote, "Our approach is that as brands, we need to stop interrupting what people are interested in and become what they're interested in." End quote. So let's summarize. Brands are important, yes. But more than that, they have to be meaningful. Your brand needs to make an impact and benefit your customers' well-being, whether it's personally, collectively, functionally, or a mixture. Remember, if you aren't meaningful, you are irrelevant, and that's just a waste of everyone's time. So what are you going to do now, today, certainly this week, to begin to make your brand more meaningful? Thanks for listening to the Viral Solutions podcast. You can find us at viralsolutions.net. Got web chat on there, all kinds of social media links. Or you can old school call us at 888-816-1222. Thanks.